Hey, blessings, everyone. I hope you had an amazing holiday week if you celebrated anything like Thanksgiving or got together with family or something like that. And we're in it now. The holiday season. And I don't know if you're anything like me, sometimes this time of the year can feel overwhelming, and it can feel really like we can actually disconnect during this time when, hey, Mary, welcome. During this time when, really winter is a time for pulling inward, for self-reflection, contemplation, really being with family. And yet our culture is very fast-paced and busy, and there's, oh my gosh, all the ads, right, for things to buy. And if we're not careful, we can lose this really precious time of the year. And we can lose what it has to offer us in terms of being filled with joy, or joyful, as I put, I think, in the title, the description for this video. So how do we move from being dreadful to joyful during this holiday season if we are a highly sensitive person on a spiritual growth path? We feel a lot, and this pace, the frenetic pace, and the real disconnection that can happen from what we find to be truly valuable can be avoided if we choose to. And this is really the crux of what the message I wanted to share with you. And before I do that, let's just take a big breath together. As you exhale out your mouth, just feeling yourself arrive in presence, and then allowing yourself to receive whatever it is that you're needing to hear from this message today. All right, so I'd started off by saying it's on, right? The holidays are on. And I was just at Trader Joe's, and I was like, whoa, holy cow, all of the holiday things to buy and all the little gifts that you can purchase and all the food. And I mean, and the energy is frenetic, and you're a highly sensitive person. Likely if you're watching this, you're an empath, you're a person who is into personal growth and spirituality. And so you're feeling it all, right? And it's like, rather than waking up with joy during this time of the year, I think it's not unusual for people to be kind of depressed. It's not that I don't think I work in my practice, my embodied mindfulness coaching practice is in an office with psychiatrists and therapists. So I'm well aware every holiday season, the practice experiences like a lot more activity because people are feeling it. They are depressed, they're anxious, they're feeling disconnected, and it can bring up a lot of stuff for us. And then I think the hardest part about it too is because we think we should feel joyful at this time of the year, and in fact we might feel stressed, overwhelmed, depressed, or anxious, or something like that, agitated, short-tempered, uptight. We feel even worse about ourselves because it's the holidays. We're supposed to be happy. And so that's like another added layer that can come into all of this. And it's like, wait a second, there's another way. And we don't need to even change. Hey, Sherry. Hi, Patty. We don't even have to. I hope this serves you today. And please watch the video from the beginning. If you're just if you're just watching right now, you can continue watching, but then watch from the very beginning. Because I can do that again. I'm just talking about how to move from being dreadful to joyful during the holidays, because when we're people on a spiritual growth path, we're highly sensitive, we're empathic. I mean, this can feel like a lot, and we can feel a lot of, as I said, overwhelm, and we can feel not so great during this time of the year. And then we medicate, right? Which is so easy to do because there's so much food and drink and all that stuff. So how do we instead feel just more joyful, more connected? And so I think the first place to start, which is something that I did, something that I do every year, is right around this time of the year, right around Thanksgiving time, I start to sense and think and feel into my heart around, what do I want this holiday period to feel like? So just start with that. You might even be thinking about this now. Why not? You're here listening to this. How do I want this season to feel? So feeling is a really good point of reference because essentially we do everything for a feeling state. I mean, if we track anything down to like if we get a new car, why do we want the new car? Because in some way, shape, or form, we feel good in it, right? Maybe it's more reliable, it's nicer looking, it's new, but it gives us a feeling of being secure, being safe, being maybe being in luxury, right? I'm just thinking of different, so feeling full states. How do you want to feel with your family? I have 2 little kids and a husband and an extended family that lives pretty close by. What do I want that to feel like? So my words here, and what I encourage you to do is jot down some words for each area. And my family, I want to feel connected and I want to feel joyful and present. So really simple, right? And then I can extend it to work and think about like, okay, maybe it's different at work. Bold is one for me. Ease is another one for work. This holiday season, this is how I want to feel. You might even, and then you can get more specific with this. But I think it's a really good place just to start with the, what we spend most of our time, who we spend most of our time with, the areas that we're, work, family, and again, like you can get as specific as you want, but ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And then don't stop there, but start to sense into like, okay, now I have these activities planned for the holidays. Are they in alignment with those feeling states? And if they're not, how might I do that? How might I say no to something that I usually say yes to because it's not helping me land in the feeling states that I'm wanting? Or I simply in the moment ask, okay, I'm going to this holiday party and relationally this holiday season, I want to be really connected and I want to be joyful. And so how might I show up that way? Thich Nhat Hanh says, sometimes your smile is the joy source. Sometimes joy is the source of your smile. Other times your smile is the source of your joy. So if we're committed to something, it's a really good idea rather than wait to see how we feel about it. Instead, how can we bring those feelings to it? It's a different way of thinking about it. So often we're sort of in the driver's seat, the passenger seat around this area, and we're just sort of like feeling whatever we feel willy-nilly. And then we're taking that with us into our homes, into the parties we're going to, into our work, into our lives. Instead, ask yourself, well, can I bring those states to it? Can I be more intentional in how I'm relating and how I'm feeling? This is powerful stuff. And it actually is true that if we have strong intention, then we can cultivate the states that we most want to feel regardless of circumstances or conditions. Yeah. And so really reflecting on that, picking a few states, a few feeling states that you're going towards, and then sensing, how can I create more of that in these situations, like with my family? Because I know what I'm wanting to feel with my family this holiday season. We all went last night and looked at, lights around the neighborhood. And, I was a little tired. But because I knew that was my intention, that motivated me to get out of my own way and go ahead and go. And we had an amazing time. And I can look back and go, that was really fun. Maybe we can do that even more. And I can be really present as we're doing it, right? And like be those states, be with my family, be present, be joyful, be connected, right? Like that changes everything if we're intentional, if we know that ahead of time, right? It might affect the conversations we have. It's going to affect what we choose to do. It's going to affect a lot of different things. So the more we can bring intention and be really clear about the feeling states we're intending, the likely more joyful our holiday season will be. Maybe we'll say yes to things that we may not otherwise. Maybe we'll say no to things that we may not otherwise. I'm not sure, but play around with that. And let me know how it served you today. And please share, like, or comment below. I was thinking of is there anything else I want to say about this one? I don't think so. But I hope that helps. And I'm practicing it with you. And I'm sending you so much love and many, many blessings. Stay tuned for a virtual a virtual retreat day that I'm going to have in the new year. And in that virtual retreat day, you'll spend a whole day with me, and we'll be releasing old stories and things that we want to release for the new year, and we'll be cultivating destiny statements in 5 areas of our life for 2019. And I'm going to really walk you through how you can get that stuff like in your bones, in your body, in your heart, and your mind for the whole year. So it's not anything that, you feel a failure at, which can be like a downside of doing these. Like, it's not a resolutions thing at all. But stay tuned. I'll give you more information about that. And sending you so much love and many blessings. Namaste.